This flow is all about our shoulders, strength and flexibility, getting us ready to do our wheel pose, our full back bend. We'll start in a kneeling position and we'll start to check in with our shoulders. Few simple shoulder rolls, front to back, change it up, move intuitively. Take your time to really bring your focus into the shoulder girdle. We'll then prepare for our cat-cow sequence here in our kneeling position. Inhale, hands travel up your thighs, open up through the chest, exhale to round. Let's continue here, lengthen through the spine. Last few. We'll then prepare for our seated side straddle splits. Finding our seat, we'll send our legs wide. Sending our toes towards the sky, finding our inner thighs. We'll start with a simple forward fold. Do your best to lead with your heart space. And then as it feels right, you can release the chin towards the chest. Find the sides of the body. Few deep breaths. Our next move is going to be our side stretch. So we'll start with our left side. Left hand can come to your ankle, either on top or tucked underneath. Right arm reaches to the sky. Lengthen, reach past the fingers. On an exhale, release that right arm overhead, sending those fingers towards your toes. If your arm begins to close off your heart space from the sky, draw back. We want to keep shoulders stacked. This is one of my favorite stretches, so hang out here for as long as you would like. Really open that heart towards the sky. We'll then take our time to move on to the other side. Reaching past the fingers, release that arm overhead. Keep in mind we want our heart space to be open towards the sky, shoulders are stacked. We're doing our best to almost feel like our right side body is on the inside of that right thigh. And you can hang out here for as long as you would like. We'll then reach left arm towards the sky, finding that center position. Roll out through the neck and shoulders. Take a moment to check in with those legs. We'll then come on to all fours. So on all fours, we'll move through our cat-cow sequence once again to check in with the shoulders, notice the low back, engage the belly. We inhale to lengthen in our cow pose. We exhale to round. You're welcome to incorporate the foot variation, tucking those toes, and then flat feet. Do what's right for you and your practice. We'll then take a brief moment of pause in our extended child's pose. By brief moment, I mean as long as you would like. But I'm just trying to make a simple video, so I didn't want to get too greedy. We'll then press up onto all fours, preparing for our spinal balance. This is a really great strengthening or warming pose. So opposite limbs, we'll start with left hand, right heel, lengthen. Exhale, all fours. Right hand, left heel, lengthen. Exhale, all fours. We'll continue here. As best we can, we press through the heel, engaging through the glutes, reach past the fingers, trying to find that level backside and level positioning through the limbs as best you can. After we feel that this sequence is complete for us, we can once again find that extended child's pose for a few deep breaths. As you take this extended child's pose, take a moment to reach past your fingers, press your palms into the earth, press your pointer finger and your thumbs into the earth, almost feeling your elbows lift off the mat. We'll then do our best to press our forearms into the earth as we prepare for our forearm down dog. Make any adjustments you need to. We draw the chest towards the thighs, spread through your sit bones, press hands and forearms into the mat. Coming into our downward facing dog, spread through the hands, few deep breaths. So we're going to prepare for our three-legged down dog and into our open dog. We're going to inhale, left leg high, exhale to open up wide. We're going to be using this pose a little bit later in our practice. For now, we'll step that foot to the top of our mat, kneeling runner's lunge. Since we are targeting the shoulders, we're going to incorporate an arm variation. As we reach our hands towards the sky, we'll then exhale, clear your skies, interlace fingers behind the body, open up through the chest space. Do your best to keep your chin angled towards your chest, full control here through the core, so we're not pulling through that low back. We'll reach our hands towards the sky, getting into our hamstring stretch, shift your weight, spread through your sit bones, forehead towards the knee. We'll then move through our half sequence, plank position, bend at the elbows, inhale, upward facing dog, exhale for downward facing dog. We'll then move into our sequence on our right side. Right leg high, exhale, open up wide. Take a moment here, find that right side body, right foot to the top of your mat, kneeling runner's lunge. And once again, we'll incorporate that arm variation, reach to the sky, find the sides of the body, open up wide through the chest space as you come into your arm variation. Keeping the chin angled towards the chest unless it's comfortable for you to draw that head back. We'll take our time, releasing hands to the earth as it feels right, getting into our hamstring stretch. We'll then move through our half sequence. You can move through that sequence as many times as you would like to feel warmed up. We'll then walk our feet to our hands, inhale, straight back position, exhale for forward fold. If the sides of the body are feeling warmed up here, you can slip your hands underneath your feet, gorilla. I like to find some movement, loosen up through the neck muscles, shake out through the hips, press your toes into your wrist creases. We'll then free the hands. Let's bend the knees, inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, heart space. We'll check in here with our back bend. Take a moment, placing our feet just under the hips, inhale, reach to the sky, find a subtle or deep back bend. We'll then swan dive down for our forward fold. Inhale, straight back. Exhale, fold, feet back, half sequence. From our downward facing dog, we'll be preparing for our plank sequence. So as it feels right, we'll inhale, plank position. We'll incorporate a leg variation. Lift one leg, keep it level with your backside for maybe 5 to 10 seconds, and then you can switch out and do the other side. We will not be moving through a half sequence here. Instead, we'll press back into our downward facing dog, doing our best to keep our core engaged. Next leg variation in our plank position is a step out. Plank position, step out wide for 5 or 10, and then as it feels right, switch to the other side. Once again, do not move through your half sequence. We're going to do our best to keep that core engaged here as we press back into our downward facing dog. Next up, side planks. We'll find our plank position. Inhale, right hand high, side plank. You can take any variation that you would like. Get a little playful. We'll switch out. Side plank, left hand high. Hopefully we're feeling that belly is warm, the shoulders are warm. We'll hold our plank for a bit longer and then finally release down. Preparing for our pectoral stretch, we'll bring the right side of our face to rest on the mat, extend right arm wide, palm resting on the earth. We'll press ourselves over to rest on right side body. Left leg reaches far behind the body. Left hand maybe reaches to the sky, to the hip, or maybe the small of the back. We can incorporate a leg variation here, our floor bow variation. Bend your leg, reach for the foot, quad stretch first. Then maybe send that left foot away from your left hand's grip. Open up through front body, check in with the low back. Floor bow variation. This is one of my favorite poses. Hopefully this is one that you commit to memory. and use often. We'll take our time then to switch out. Finding our bellies, left side of the face on the mat, extend left arm out wide. Press yourself over to rest on your left side body. Right leg reaches far behind the body. Right hand wherever is most comfortable. You're welcome to incorporate your leg variation here. Bend the right leg, reach for the foot, quad stretch. Maybe open up for that floor bow variation as it feels right. Find your front body, check in with the low back. Take a moment to lengthen out wide, reach past the limbs, find your belly, maybe hands rest under the chin or the forehead, bend your knees, send your legs side to side, loosen up through the posterior chain. Release the weight of the legs wide, preparing for our King Cobra. As you're ready, inhale, toes towards the crown of the head. And we'll drop our body weight, push up, extended child's pose. You can take your time in your extended child's pose. We are going to prepare for our wild thing. We'll press up into our downward facing dog. We're going to be incorporating that leg lift as we used earlier. Let's inhale, right leg high. Exhale to open up wide, find your quad. We're going to release the right toes. Lengthen out through the left leg, much like your side plank. Reach that right arm overhead. We'll then bend both knees, flipping our dog, attempting to look towards the floor, hovering just beyond our back bend. Let's try the other side. Left leg high. Exhale to open up wide. Take your time. Release the toes of the left foot. Keep that left heel lifted as we extend the right leg, much like our side plank, wild thing. We'll then bend both legs, heels firmly on the floor, flipping our dog. Look for the floor overhead, once again hovering just beyond your back bend. Let's make our way back into our down dog. Stretch it out, shake out. Taking a moment of pause. All right, let's prepare to come into our full wheel pose. Namaste. Okay, so there are a few ways you can get into your back bend. We have a drop in where you would stand at the top of your mat, maybe feet hip width apart, inhale, reach, and you would drop into your back bend. This is not something that is part of my regular practice, but you are more than welcome to do it if you would like. You can also position yourself so that your hands can be on a wall and you can walk yourself down that wall. Another way to do your wheel pose is a lift up, feet just under your hips. Hands frame the face, point your fingers towards your shoulders. Inhale, lift. You can adjust your feet where you need to, adjust your hands. So that's your lift into your back bend. My favorite way to get into my back bend or into my wheel is using my down dog into my three-legged down dog, into a wild thing, into a flip dog, and then finally into my wheel pose. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate. Okay, so we're going to start with our left side. We're going to inhale, left leg high. Exhale to open up wide. Bend the knee, find the quad. Release the left toes. Straighten out through the right leg, very much like your plank position or your side plank position. We'll lengthen past the fingers, long spine, wild thing. We'll then release the left heel, release or bend the right knee, release both heels. We'll start to work our way into our wheel pose, releasing that left hand, twisting that right wrist so that right hand is in position. Oh, I was supposed to say, ta-da! So those are a few options for your wheel pose. Thanks so much. Please like, subscribe, comment, share,